Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr., as we know, has been one of the most dominant welterweights of this era. His southpaw come-forward style has made people fans of his boxing. He is now a unified welterweight champion, holding the WBC belt.
He is now the WBC and the IBF welterweight unified champion of the world, Errol Spence Jr.
And the IBF.
Still undefeated, Errol, the true Spence Jr.
Errol started boxing at 15 years old, quickly rising through the amateur ranks, making him an Olympian in 2012. Even though he fell short in the Olympics, losing in round 3 of the tournament, his rise to the pros was something spectacular. He dismantled opponent after opponent, making him a welterweight to avoid. He would get his first title shot after his first round knockout of Leonard Bundy.
Midway through, round 6, down goes Bundy. We'll know his very game right now, but he's hurt. Oh, and he goes out.
He would later go to the UK and face the IBF champion, Kell Brook.
Behind his boxing now, Brook, but he doesn't look. And here comes Spence after that minute rest. Eye against Errol Spence, but he's gone down on one knee. He can hardly see out of it.
Errol, the true Spence Jr.
Which would be a toe-to-toe bout, which Errol Spence would win the bout on the 11th round TKO, winning his first championship. After that, Errol would go through a tear through the division, and 4 fights later, he would win his second world title by defeating, at the time, the WBC champion, Shawn Porter.
1 minute remaining, and
You can see, right on the chin, right when he was throwing the punch.
Errol Spence Jr.
Now in this video, we are going to go through the breakdown of Errol, the true Spence Jr.'s fighting style, showing the advantages and flaws in his boxing style. Footwork and angles. While Errol Spence might have a come-forward aggressive style, but boxing fans don't really see the technical side of his style. The step-back counter. One of Errol's most favorite technique of his, we see how he will lure his opponent with his guard, thinking he will be an easy target. While Errol throws his jab, the opponent will try to punch back, which we see he steps back and counters beautifully. Stepping with the foot outside. So we've seen this many times with southpaw fighters, stepping with the right foot on the outside, such as the great Manny Pacquiao. Errol uses this tool to first throw the double jab and then step outside, and his choice of landing body shots or a left hand. Pivoting. This technique is used by a lot of boxers, especially by the legend Mike Tyson. But Errol, as a southpaw, likes this technique to either throw a combination and pivot, to keep throwing, but not where the opponent can hit him. Also uses this technique for an escape route. If he's being pressured, he will pivot to the side to escape the line of fire. The jab and range. As we've seen in his southpaw style, Errol likes throwing that nice stiff jab. He also has one of the most effective jabs, not only in the welterweight division but in every division. Not only by the way he throws the punch, but the way he can set up other punches by using the jab. But we also see that sometimes he doesn't throw the jab with intention to land, if not to see his opponent's reaction and of course keeping at range. Body work. By looking at his fights, it's no doubt that he works the body throughout the whole bout to wear down his opponent. Let's look how he set up his body shots. The jab. The jab is one of the most fundamental punches in Errol Spence's arsenal. He sets the body work with a jab or any other punch, driving his opponent to an uncomfortable position. He will then take the opportunity to work the body with power shots. He will use this tactic throughout the whole fight to eventually wear down his opponent and keep pressure throughout the whole bout. If you're Errol Spence's opponent, hanging by the ropes isn't a good tactic, because Errol would use this to his advantage, throwing a flurry of punches with a lot of power, using tactics to block your vision while making sure he is in a position where he can hit and not get hit. Overhand. Errol will use his footwork, parrying shots by the opponent or just walking him down, then he will throw the jab and come over with the overhand. While sometimes it won't make a big difference in the fight, it's to make sure the opponent keeps his distance. The flaws of Errol Spence. While Errol might not have many flaws as other boxers, he is also not a perfect fighter. We've seen Errol getting caught with punches that he is taking well, but let's go through those punches. The overhand. As well as Errol uses this as his weapon, he has also been caught by the same punch on some occasions. He will drop his left hand, leading to his opponent landing an overhand. Errol also sometimes lacks head movement, so those straights and jabs from his opponent will sometimes connect, especially if you are taking Errol Spence into a firefight. When Errol puts all his weapons together, he is a machine, but every machine has its flaws, no doubt. He is one of the pound-for-pound best fighters out there. Let's see on April 19th when he faces the WBA champion Yordenis Ugas. How will he use his tools to his advantage? But that's it for the breakdown of Errol, the Truth, Spence Jr.